This is my custom side grip slash V-mount battery gimbal rig that I built 100% using parts that I already had laying around. First thing, you want to get your power base plate. This is from Small Rig. I don't believe they make these anymore, but I know that Tilta does, and I've linked that down below if you want it. And on the bottom of this, I've got the Small Rig 15mm rod bracket. You'll need 3 of these in total to make this work. Thankfully, I had those lying around already. You just mount it here, make sure it locks, and then you want to take this other little bracket thing, slide this over the NATO rail connector on the right side of it, not the left, and you'll see why in a second, why that's important. Screw this in. This just gives it an added layer of security. This thing is definitely not coming off, so even if that comes unlocked, you know, it's not going anywhere. Next, I take my 15mm rods. These are the carbon fiber ones from Small Rig. I like the carbon fiber ones just because they're lighter, but you could just as well use the aluminum ones. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to insert these into the 15mm rod bracket, and I'm going to leave about 4.5 inches of space on the right side. Next, I'm going to take this piece here, 2 pieces in one. It is the Small Rig 15mm bracket plus the default DJI tripod grip that comes with the gimbal. I'm just gonna make sure this is reasonably tight, never over tighten, but like you want it pretty tight. And then once you're actually holding it, you can give it another little side squeeze. Side squeeze, twist, I don't know. Whenever the camera comes out, I stumble over my words. I'm going to take the briefcase grip that also came with the gimbal. I'm going to loosen this up. And the reason why we needed this bracket on the right is so that we could have the briefcase handle on the left. The reason why is the briefcase handle has this little, I guess you could call it a stopper on the end here. And basically, even if I'm not tightening it down, I can still kind of hold it up. Obviously, tighten it down. Next is power. So I got this V-mount battery. This is from Indie Pro, although you can probably get a much better deal with the ones from Small Rig. In my opinion, these Indie Pro batteries, these are great quality. They're built like tanks. They've never let me down, but they are pretty overpriced, and I learned that a bit too late. Anyway, this is just what I happen to have. This piece here, it was 2 pieces in one. This element here, it was a part of a crab clamp to V-lock battery holder. And the other part of this is a 15mm rod mini cheese plate. I simply was able to disassemble this little V-lock thing here, and I was able to screw it to the back of the cheese plate, and that's how I mount the battery. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take my cable, my power cable, which is the male-to-male D-tap to 2-pin limo. I plug that in. I'm going to slide this on, and I'm going to make sure that this is pressing up against the gimbal as tightly as I can get it. A coiled cable would actually be more efficient for this, but I don't have that, and the whole principle of this rig is that I'm not buying anything else. I'm only using parts that I had laying around. So if I were to go buy another cable, I would be cheating. And then I'm going to take this cable, and I'm just going to wrap it around the whole thing. For the little finale here, I'm going to go straight through the middle, and I'm going to find my connection, plug it in. Now we've got power to the gimbal. I'm just going to take the other little tripod grip attached to the 15mm bracket from Small Rig, and I'm going to put that on the end here. And now you've got your side handles and a third point of contact. Like sometimes I like to rest the edge of that briefcase handle right on my body. 3 points of contact is stable. You add a gimbal, it's even more stable. And next, all that's left to do is to mount the camera. Got my Blackmagic 6K Pro, one of my favorite cameras in the whole world. Now, if you don't have some of these parts that I mentioned, I've linked below a B&H wish list, but if you're missing a part here, you can find it. And even if you were missing all of the parts, which I know you're not, but even if you were and you needed to go out and buy all of them, it's gonna run you about $450, which is still cheaper than the Tilta ring grip, which is kind of like the standard if you want like a side grip with a V-mount battery. Anyway, so if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I'm getting back into the YouTube game to document my journey as a business owner and growing a video production company. And I'm sharing what I'm learning along the way, mistakes, tips, and tricks. And so if that's of interest to you, hit that subscribe button below, and I'd love to see you in the next video.